collecting people, finding your hottest leads, and building a foundation for your launch. What am I talking about? The Waitlist Plan. On this episode, I'm talking with Cathy about how she took my Waitlist plan, implemented it, and sold out of her subscriptions in 24 hours to her waitlist. Come join us.
Welcome to the Launch Your Box podcast, with weekly tips, tricks, and strategies to start, launch, and grow your subscription box. Now, here's your host, Sarah Williams.
Welcome back to the Launch Your Box podcast. I've got a special guest today. She is a member of Launch Your Box and Scale Your Box. And we're going to talk about something that I saw in the community in one of our little groups that we were talking in. She posted about selling out to her wait list within 24 hours. And so when we saw that post, we knew we had to get Cathy on the podcast. We're going to break it down for you today. If you're not using a wait list to grow your subscription base, I want you to take notes today because we've got a lot of good takeaways. Cathy, thank you for joining me today. Why don't you start by introducing yourself a little bit? Tell everybody about your business and about your subscription box.
All right. Thank you for having me. So a little bit about myself. I have had Decorator Crafts, which is an e-commerce site that I sell high-end craft supplies. I got into the business. I was working for a mortgage company full-time as a project manager / product owner, and it was very stressful. And so I've always been into interior design, decorating homes, helping other people do it. And I actually started off as an art major in college. So I was seeing people make wreaths on Facebook. And this was probably back 2018, 2019. And finally in 2020, I was like, I can do that. And I loved it because I could sit in front of the couch with my husband, watch television, start a project and, complete it in 2 to 3 hours, which with my daily job, nothing ever ended, right? So it just felt satisfying. So I started to get a lot of interest from friends and family. And I was like, look, y'all, this is a hobby. But I got very interested in the ribbons, the supplies, and everything. So I kept for like a year and a half. I dropped hints to my husband that I wanted to start a website. And he finally looks at me at the end of 2019 and said, well, what's holding you back? You going to do it? And so when you have a partner that's that supportive, right, you just got to just run with it. Decorator Crafts was born in 2020. And I officially launched the website May 17th of 2020. I should know this off the top of my head. Luxury Loops was born that year. I don't quite recall when, but pretty soon after, because I was getting a lot of questions from people like, so at first I posted pictures of what I made, and then I was like, all right, I got to go live, right? I got to go live. And it's kind of a funny story. I was so nervous to go live, and there's like 2 people on, and they're my friends, and I cut myself. And I cut myself really badly, and I'm under the table trying to, stop the hemorrhage and everything. And then, it just dawned on me, like, why am I trying to be so perfect? I mean, that's not who I am in real life. That's not what people want to see. It's not authentic. And so I kept doing it and going live, and then people started showing up, right? The right people started showing up, the people who wanted to learn and then also buy supplies. So over and over and over, I kept getting asked, how do you know how to coordinate ribbons? Like how do you make a bow? What colors do you pick? What textures? Like, how do you know what size ribbon goes together? In the back of my mind, I was thinking, gosh, this is, they're asking me these questions. And this is one thing that I've learned through this process. When someone asks you a question, that is a need, right? And you need to, as a business owner, listen and fulfill that need. It's a gift from the gods that you're being told, given these questions. So I had been so enamored with designer ribbons anyways. And I thought, this is a great opportunity. I can curate a monthly box and put the ribbons together for them. So I can do seasonal and then also deliver them to them a couple of months in advance of that holiday. So, for instance, this December, we'll be sending out Valentine's ribbons.
These aren't just any ribbons, right? Like these
Yeah.
are high-end luxury designer ribbons, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So if you're not in this community of wreathing or, the crafting world, there are kind of what we reverence two different types of ribbon. There's the everyday ribbon, which is great ribbon. There's nothing wrong with it. The quality's great and everything. But then there is a designer ribbon, which just like designer clothes, it has a designer price tag to it as well. But it tends to have a thicker wire in it. The material tends to be thicker. And then you get into the jewels, right? You get into all these, you can get crystals on them, glitter, and they just really make your project stand out. Immediately, once I learned the fundamentals of how to make a bow, then I got into the designer ribbon. It's one of those things you kind of have to work yourself up to it. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a designer ribbon box. I wanted to teach people not only how do you put them together, but how do you put them together and use them economically, right? Because a lot of people, their fear of the designer ribbon is the cost involved on the front end, and then will I get my money out of it on the back end when I go to sell it?
Is it going to be worth it for someone else? I know the value of designer ribbon, but will somebody else see the value of that?
Exactly. There's so many reasons behind why to use designer ribbon, but one of the main ones is it just makes your project stand out. In the thousands listed on Etsy, a lot of people are looking for that one that looks different, that stands out. So when they search for instance, gingerbread, and I have a exclusive gingerbread ribbon that has, that's stitched and stands out from every other wreath, then it has a higher propensity to be purchased and at a higher price because they understand it's a one of a kind. So that's also part of the selling feature of luxury loops. So luxury loops has evolved. Originally, it was just sign up and we ship you a box. I've now opened a private Facebook group. I go in once a month. I create with that box's ribbons. There's discount codes just for my subscribers. They also share their creations, which is awesome. And they're really good about doing it. And I'm blown away by a lot of the designs. And I also keep them up to date on, just anything that's happening, sales, or if I'm doing a live sale, I get new product in. I can stream into that private Facebook group too. So they're more or less my VIPs. And I treat them as such and nurture them and make them feel that it's not just a box, it's an experience. And it's a journey that we're both taking. I let them know about upcoming, I give them teasers and so forth.
So let's talk about this subscription box journey, because you got your website up in 2020. You started the subscription box some point in that year. You started with 20 subscribers. Was your box $75 back then? Is that how much you started it with?
It was, and I've stayed true to that. I will be opening it back up in the middle of December. After the December box goes out, for those, I'll have another at least 48 openings for starting with the January box. And that will be the last time to get in at 75, just because the cost of shipping and everything has just gone up. It is exclusively a Ferris silk box. When I first started, I used several suppliers, designer ribbon, but I've grown a relationship with Ferris silk and through the years, and they're so supportive of the box. In fact, they allowed me to use their logo on the box. Now I have exclusives with them. So, why wouldn't I take advantage of that opportunity and make the box, the ribbons in the box be exclusive just to the box in their Ferris silk, which is another, huge selling feature of it. And I recommend to anybody to nurture that relationship with your suppliers, and don't be afraid to ask that question when you get to a point where you can meet minimum order quantities.
Yeah. So you've taken it from your 20 initial subscribers to we're over 200 subscribers. Mm-hmm. And I'm so intrigued by this because you posted in the group, I followed the plan. I sold out in 24 hours. So Cathy, let's let them in on the plan. Okay. So
Okay.
let's talk about this. It's very strategic and incremental growth because you have to buy in quantities of 48, right? So you need to grow in those quantities. That's the case pack. And so you need to grow in those quantities. So you're very strategic about the way that you set this up so that when you launch it, you can fill those 48 spots every single time. So let's talk about what you've done. What's the plan? Let's give them a little insight on how you've grown this with your very strategic and incremental growth.
Well, you're being very humble because the plan is your plan. And I have followed it to a T. And it's amazing when you listen to your mentor that things will work. But, you have to do the plan. I mean, you have to put in the work. You have to follow it. And full disclosure, I was really nervous on the launch because I didn't really have the plan B set up, like to run ads and, do all of that. But I just thought to myself, okay, I'm getting into my really busy season. So do what I can, but do it well, like put all my energy into it.
A plan that we're talking about is the waitlist plan. This is a plan that I teach to build a waitlist and sell to the waitlist. And it just so happens that, waitlist is part of our launch. It's not our whole launch, but for Cathy, the waitlist was her entire launch. She put the waitlist plan in place and sold out before she ever had to go public with her offer. And that's the strategic value of building the waitlist. So for anyone that doesn't know what my waitlist plan is, Cathy, let's talk them through what you did.
Yeah. So initially, being a newbie, when I joined Sarah's group, I had a different CRM. So I switched over to Klaviyo because the lessons revolve around Klaviyo. And I just thought it would be a much easier learning curve to switch to Klaviyo. So I did. And initially, I have a Shopify store and I had a pop-up. So when you went to Luxury Loops, you'd get a pop-up. And then, of course, after doing your class, I was told, no, I need a landing page. And, so I went through that learning curve, wasn't bad, created a landing page. And my landing page basically up at the top has the call to action, 48 more openings and I put December, sign up here. And then
when you talk about your landing page, you're talking specifically about your waitlist page for your subscription, right?
Correct. Only for the waitlist. And so what it is basically a landing page, for those who don't know, is essentially just it's a description. It tells you everything and anything you would want to know about Luxury Loops. So I have photos of past boxes. I have reviews by current customers because, who's going to sell your product better than your current customers, right? And then I sell the benefits of it. I tell them what's in it. It's not a hard sale. It's just do you struggle putting, deciding which ribbons to put together? Luxury Loops does this, and this. It's very clean, neat, easy to read without feeling, like an icky hard sale. It just more or less, this is what it is. This is what it will do for you. And these are the benefits of it. And I of course, let them know about the discounts to my group, the discount of the box itself, because the box is discounted. It's got a huge discount on it. That it's free shipping. It's, it arrives on your doorstep every month. It's your present to yourself.
And so you're giving them all the information they need to know, and you're asking them just to join the waitlist. Just give me your email.
Yep.
You'll be put on the waitlist and I'll let you know when these next 48 spots are available.
Correct.
Okay. So how do you get people over to the waitlist to actually sign up?
So that is the plan. That is, to me, really the plan, right? That the landing page is the foundation, but the real work after you get that done is being diligent about constantly talking about your box. And this is what you taught me is every month I do a box unveiling and I go live and I hype it up. And something else that I've learned to do with that is if there's other groups in your community of, for instance, wreath making, there's groups out there that encourage you to go live in their group so you can share it. So I share it everywhere I can with anybody that's willing to allow me to do it. Some groups have rules, you can't do that. Get it out there. It's amazing how many people will show up to watch. And so I actually have my box there, and I pull them out and I tell them the story behind it, like, that I curated it with Fair Silk. These ribbons are exclusive. My thought process behind why I chose these colors, this ribbon, how they go together, how they can use them. And, truthfully, people start asking questions organically. And then next thing you know, it's just you're having conversations with people.
Yeah.
And they're just asking, how do I get this? And then I say, well, I launch twice a year because I have to order the product in advance. This is the next launch date-ish. But you can get on the wait list now. And I always have the link in the comments, right? As I'm going live, that's the first thing I do is put that link in the comments so I'm not distracted.
Yeah.
And that's one of the ways I do it. And then I also, after I do the unveiling, I send out an email to everyone on my list that's not a Luxury Loop subscriber.
Okay.
And I tell them, did you see the live, where I showed the ribbons? If you missed it, here you go. It's not too late to get on the wait list. And I don't redo the landing page for the email, but right. I do slightly sell the highlights of it and learn more button, and then take them to get on the wait list.
Okay.
And I also too, I let people know that maybe January won't work for them. Maybe the timing is off. Maybe it's, something that they can't afford right now or whatever, but they will stay on the wait list until they choose to get off of it, till they choose to unsubscribe. So I do that. And then I also, when I have it set up, and great thing about Klaviyo, thank you for Klaviyo, Sarah, I have an email flow because it's integrated with my Shopify that when anybody buys any designer ribbon, whether it's Fair Silk or not, and they're not a Luxury Loop subscriber, then they go through an email series, right? A nurturing series. I saw you were, you're shopping. Do you know how to use luxury ribbon? Do you struggle with this? And I think I have 3 or 4 emails, and then I invite them to join the wait list. I do post. I post at least once a week about luxury loops. And sometimes, it doesn't have to be obvious. I'll post, hey, who's received their boxes went out? Who's received their luxury loops box? And then next thing you know, all your current customers are commenting, which is the best marketing you can ask for, right? You taught me that too. And they're like, oh my gosh, this box is my favorite. It's amazing, and you get all of these comments, and then that creates interest for people who are coming across the post. And honestly, anytime I go live too, and someone asks me about a ribbon, I'll say, oh, that's an exclusive. It was in such and such luxury loops box. And they'll go, what's luxury loops? And then I explain it to them. I don't push hard sale, but I will say, let me post a link if you're interested, and it'll tell you all the details. But it's a discounted exclusive box that's mailed out monthly. I don't get into the price or anything then, but I let them know just at a high level what it is.
So and there's really these 5, let's take these 5 action steps and let's just break them down real simply for everybody listening, because when you're building a wait list, the driver to this, and this is what Cathy understood from the plan, is that we have to keep driving traffic to the wait list. We have to keep growing the wait list in between our launches. And so the ways that she's been growing the wait list consistently is, 1, when she does a live unboxing, she drives the call to action is join the wait list. When she sends an email to the subscribers with the unboxing, because that's another piece of content you can do from your unboxing, she's driving people to the wait list if they don't already have it. When people buy any designer ribbon from her shop, She's sending them an email flow, introducing the subscription and sending them to the wait list. She's posting about her subscription regularly and consistently, and she's driving them to the wait list. And then anytime someone brings up the box while she's live, she's got the link to send them over to the wait list, which has all the information about the box, and she's capturing and collecting these people. So during her last launch, she had collected 300 people onto this wait list. And it was just these regular every month activities that she was sending people to the wait list. And she sold out of her 48 boxes in 24 hours. That is a 16% conversion rate on that wait list. And I know, and Cathy knows, that would have been a much higher conversion had she had more product, because she sold out so quickly. Imagine if she would have had 96 pieces instead of 48. She would have had a much higher conversion rate, because that wait list, everyone listening, that wait list are the people that are the most interested in your subscription box. And you have to constantly be collecting them. You can't launch, Cathy can't launch in the spring, not do anything to build that wait list, then show back up in the fall and launch again and expect to get a bunch of new subscribers. That is something that she's been working on every single month. It's those 5 things that I just broke down for you that she's doing every single month. She's been incredibly consistent at it. She knows that that's her call to action whenever she's bringing the subscription box topic up, and it works. And Cathy knows it works because she watched me not launch my subscription box for years building a wait list. All I had to do was keep funneling people to my wait list. And anytime I wanted to grow my subscription, I sent an email to that wait list. I didn't have to launch for years to maintain and grow my subscription box at thousands of subscribers. And that's the benefit of having the waitlist plan. And she's leaned into that. She has listened. She has taken all that information and then went and applied it to her own business. And now in a few months, she's going to open again. And you better believe that there are people on that wait list waiting for a spot to get in her subscription box, right?
We hope so, because I have over 500 now.
You've already gained another 200 in a couple months because you're being incredibly consistent at it. And that's what people fail to do, Cathy. Like, they may have good intentions. They may build that landing page. They may get the waitlist embed form up. They may talk about it a few times and then it falls off. But if you take those 5 things that Cathy just told you she does consistently every month and you just make them part of your regular routine, you're going to continue to build that list. And we know our email list is where our money is. And it's proven over and over again. And Cathy just proved it to you that the money is in your list. So if you can continue to nurture and build that list from launch to launch, you're going to be that much further ahead, right?
100%. And, my box isn't outrageously expensive, but it surely isn't inexpensive. It's $75 a month. Yeah. So, people think about that, right? But to have that list that I can rely on is just golden for me. And I would much rather spread the workout for months and just make it part of my weekly routine and just rinse and repeat and just not even think about it. Yeah. And then just launch and boom, the work, all that hard work it just pays off versus scrambling to find people.
Exactly. Or going through a 5-day launch process that is really exhausting. Like, you didn't have to do any of that. You sold out during the waitlist email launch. And that's incredible. So let's talk about something else that has happened recently that I think it's important to share. We were on a Scale Your Box call last week or the week before, I can't remember. And you were telling me about a video that you did that has gone viral. So tell everybody about what's going on with that.
So crazy, right? We go through life and we worry about content, and then it's something that you never dream that's going to take off.
Every time,
right? So I'm kind of known as the ribbon lady in the community. I mean, there's several of us that sell it, but a lot of people will say, oh, the ribbon lady, Cathy has it or whatever. So I wanted people to understand that, I shop at Walmart. I shop at Target. I'm on a budget just like they are. So I had envisioned in my mind that I wanted to make these Christmas urns. And I certainly didn't invent the concept of making an urn and putting stuff in it, right? But I wanted to put my own spin on it. So I ordered these plastic urns off of Amazon, and I found these huge ornaments that were one piece, 24 inches tall at Walmart. And I started so I spray painted these black urns red, because the ornaments are red and white, kind of peppermint looking, and filled them with floral, weighed them down, put floral foam in a spray insulation foam, which turns into like a floral foam, put the ornaments in there. And then I took greenery and designer ribbon from my shop, and I went live after I had done the ornaments. And then I went live showing them how to put the greenery and the ribbons in it. But because everything had to cure and dry, the processes before it, I did take photos of it though. I took my photo journey and posted it, right? So then when I could finish them off, oh my gosh, they went crazy. They went nuts, crazy.
So this was your live video that went viral, or this was a short video that you recorded after?
So I did the photos started going live of the project. Where do I see the final project? And I'm working on it. And then I finished one of them and then went live showing the whole thing, how to add the greenery and the ribbon. I went live on my business page, and it just went crazy. It blew up.
It was that live that went viral.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out.
But you know how in Facebook now you can create reels
from your live?
Yes.
Is that what you did?
That went crazy too. Yes. Everything went crazy. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. Like I couldn't even, my phone was just blowing up with so many notifications. How do you make these? I see the pictures, where's the tutorial? Where's a how-to? And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even I was so unprepared for that. But like I stated earlier, okay, this is a gift from God. They are asking for something like over and over and over and over. So I need to, for my business, give them what they want. And then what a perfect opportunity to grab emails, right? This is how, let me get the emails. So this weekend, I sat down and actually Tracy Gibson and I are good friends. Okay. And Tracy and I are on different platforms and all, but because the former project manager in me, I have to map things out, right? So I had to draw out, this is what I do first, then this step, then this step, then this step, then this step. So I talk about this all the time. We're on an island a lot when you own your own business, and you got to have your tribe, whether it's 1, 2, or 5 people that you can call. Tracy's in my tribe. I called her and I said, am I thinking this through properly? Like, before I go through all this work, can you stop me from, forgetting something and wanting to, bang my head on a wall?
Hold on just a second, Cathy, because here's what I want our audience listening to understand. So this video is going viral. You're having over 150,000 views, like super fast.
That's TikTok.
You gained 6,000 Facebook followers within 72 hours. So you knew this was something that could change your business. So you got all these followers. Now, because we've talked about it already, the importance of building a list. And so when you came over to Scale Your Box and you're like, this is what's happening, what should I do? I'm like, we gotta capture their emails. We gotta get them on our list. So how can we do that? And you're like, well, I can put the tutorial together. I can make an opt-in for the tutorial. I took the pictures. I have a short video. Yep. I can put it all together and make an opt-in and get that posted in the comments, edit the video, like whatever it is. Like, let's start capturing these people. When you see an interest in something, and it's just like what Cathy said, like what we think is going to blow, like I am so guilty of this. Like, oh, I'm going to buy 200 sweatshirts because everyone's going to love this. And I've got 120 sweatshirts still sitting here a year later, right? But I'm going to buy 20 of something else because I'm unsure. And then they're going to sell out in an hour. So this is how all small business life is. You think you know what's going to blow up. It doesn't blow up. And then you're completely caught off guard when something blows up. And that's what happened with Cathy. So now she spends her weekend. So Cathy's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I know the importance of the list. It is proven to me over and over again with this whole waitlist thing. Let me get an opt-in ready. Sarah says we need an opt-in. I'm going to get an opt-in. I've never done an opt-in. I'm going to figure it out. I figured out how to make my own landing page for my waitlist. I can figure this out too. So you get with Tracy, you guys work out the plan for that and you just implement it and you get an opt-in together for the tutorial on how to make these earns. And anytime you see something blowing up on your social media, lean into it. The other day I did post a sweatshirt and I did order maybe 30 of them, right? Not a lot. And I saw that they were just selling like crazy. So, and I had a post full of great comments about this sweatshirt. You turn that sweatshirt into an ad. I did a triple order of that sweatshirt. Like lean into it immediately when you see it happening, because if not, you will lose momentum. And that's exactly what Cathy did. She saw it happening. She knew she needed to do something. She wasn't quite sure what. She brought it to the group. We talked about it. She got busy. Literally, we talked about it Thursday and you're making a opt-in over the weekend, right? Mm-hmm. That is action taking. That is getting to work. That is implementing. That makes a difference in your business. And so you got it done. And now you're list building off of this video.
So another game changer for me was, and this has been in the burning in the back of my mind for months now, is you said something so prolific to me and it really rocked my world as a business owner in a good way. You said that if you're not running ads, then you don't have a business, you have a hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. So not only did I do all that, but I ran an ad. Okay. I'm running an ad right now.
And it has your opt-in in it, right?
And it has my opt-in in it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Because it's true. Every legit business on this planet has an advertising budget. So if you're sitting there thinking about, well, I have never run ads. I don't do that. Like you're still thinking of your business as a hobby business. And it doesn't have to be a big budget. You don't have to go spend tens of thousands of dollars, but you need to start with 100. And that needs to grow and they need to lean into that because we can only go so far organically. But when we have something that really takes off organically, that paid advertising only adds fuel to our already built fire. You can't build a fire with an ad. You have to build a fire organically. And then our ads really put fuel on it. And that's how businesses grow. That's how we continue to grow as business owners, getting in front of new people. And that's so, so important. So I'm really glad that you leaned into that. Now, you know my audience over here on the podcast, Cathy. A lot of times people are listening that are just starting out. There could be people listening right now that are like, I've had a subscription for a long time and I've never ran a wait list. Get on it. But what advice would you give for someone that's maybe just starting out, maybe feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed? What advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, 100% the wait list. If you're not doing it, you're doing yourself and your business a huge, disfavor by not just getting it. It's so simple to do. And also too, one thing that if you feel like it's not growing, so as part of the private Facebook group, I go in there and I ask them questions. Like one day I said, hey, I'm getting ready to go to Dallas Market. What would y'all like to see? One of the questions I had to them, for instance, was, would you like a box of all 1-inch ribbons? 1-inch ribbons are kind of trendy right now. And I was so surprised by the answer that 90% of them came back and said, no, I like a 4-inch, a 2.5-inch, and a 1-inch, which is what I was doing currently. And they said, we like these colors or we like this trend, but unanimously people were kind of saying, we trust you. I mean, those were the exact words they were saying. So I thought I'd get more feedback out of it, but, and I think part of me was a little disappointed. And then I was like, why am I disappointed? They like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing the right thing. It's okay. And it's okay to keep asking them every once in a while. You know, is there anything else you would like to see? But waitlist, and then nurture them some. I mean, you don't have to dote on them and make it your full-time job, right? Because you still need to grow your business. But your current subscribers, I did the giveaway like you recommended when I launched this last time. And you said keep it under 10%, I think is what you had said, of your giveaway of your total cost of your box. And so I did that, and I gave them the same thing that the new subscribers gave them. And I told them that they were just as appreciated as the new people were. And I thanked them for being on the journey with me, right? And, you know, the best is yet to come type of thing.
Yeah.
And I enclosed in the boxes notes like that. We separated out the new people from the current subscribers.
And Cathy's talking about the early bird bonus. I just want to make sure it's our language, but not everybody understands that. So during this launch, she gave an early bird bonus to anyone that signed up in the first 24 hours, which was everyone. But she also gave it to all of her existing subscribers. And what she's saying about the 10% was, I say, don't make the cost of that early bird bonus more than 10% of your total retail price of your box. So for her, that's $7.50. So she was giving away an early bird bonus that was in that range because that's very profitable and effective for her. And so it's building the wait list, loving on your subscribers, giving them a reason to buy. And then you heard it from Cathy herself. You've got to be consistent with building that list. You have to build those daily, monthly, weekly routines in to constantly talk about your box and drive people to that wait list. Cathy, if someone's listening and they want some luxury ribbon in their life, where can we send them?
Decoratorcrafts.com.
Decoratorcrafts.com. Get on the wait list because is opening her subscription soon, and you want to be on that list because we already know it's going to sell out again. So, yes. Cathy, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today, and I'll be back next week with another great episode.